I've had to come to terms with the fact that I was abandoned by both my parents to a certain extent. I know that's a broad stroke, but if you have been abandoned by one or both of your parents, or, you know, anybody, but really I'm talking about your mom or your dad, because that is devastating. Even a divorce can be devastating. But when you witness one of your parents give up or walk away, or for whatever reason choose not to be a part of your life, and I believe it's a choice. I mean, there's nothing that could keep me from my kids. It would have to be like a physical barrier or something preventing me from being with them, and then even then I would be a part of their life through communication in any capacity. That's just who I am and the way I would do it. That's the way I've done it. And so for a parent to say, well, you know, your mother was mean and so I didn't dare get close, or your father was mean so I walked up. No, you were abandoned, you know, and at the end of the day, you got to come to terms with that like I did. So, you know, here's some ways I came to peace with that, and some ways I've been able to cope with it. So first and foremost, you have to accept that you were abandoned. It's hard when you love somebody to think that they're capable of something like that, you know, and then once you do that, it opens up a whole floodgate of, well, why did they do it? You know, what is it about me that they didn't like? Am I not good enough? Did they not love me? Was there something more important? Was there an inadequacy in my parent that drove them to this? And I mean, none of those things you want to face as a human, especially as a young person, but a human nonetheless, just in general. But the beginning steps to healing are acknowledging that is very painful, and that is what happened. So there you go. Get over it. You were abandoned, right? Next, you gotta understand that the real pain that's affiliated with that. You were traumatized, and I've always been the type of person that's, you know, dust yourself off, move on, rub some dirt on it, and that mentality has a place, and it serves me well sometimes. Other times, it hasn't. So it hasn't been until, you know, recently, 44 years old, 43, 42, last couple of years, where I've really come to terms with the amount of pain that I'm in as a person who was abandoned by his mother and his father, again, on certain capacities. You know, and either one of them may argue, well, you know, I didn't totally abandon you, or I didn't abandon you at all. I mean, who knows? You know, my dad's not here to defend himself. My mom, like, I really, you know, I don't know what she would say. But I moved away from her when I was 13 years old, and really, off and on since then, we've had a very difficult time maintaining a relationship, and we don't have one now for the last several years, just nothing. And it's better that way for now. But just accept the fact that that is painful, that you have been traumatized, that you may be experiencing PTSD-like symptoms, post-traumatic stress disorder. The other thing is, you got to realize that's going to affect your relationships. So there's probably a whole new level, a whole new layer of complications in your life, because now you've got a void, whether it's a male figure or a female influence in your life, or a feminine energy or a masculine energy, that has directly affected your relationships. So now you got to look at all your relationships and go, there's a huge factor here in my decisions to be with certain people, and it is directly related to my experience with my parents, or the lack of experience with your parents. Whatever these abandonment issues are. Maybe you were adopted, maybe you were a foster kid, maybe one of your parents left you, maybe they were there but they weren't really there. Whatever it is, it's going to affect your relationships. You got to look at all of these things. Now, here's the other thing. Here's the next one. I don't know, what is this, number 4? You got to forgive them. You have to forgive them. This is another difficult one, because you have to be able to understand that they're just humans doing the best they can. That's it. That's that. They are weak. They are fragile. They are not perfect. And they screwed up. And you can do it differently, and you can do it better. That is a choice you get to make. No one can take that from you. That's your free agency. There's a certain point where you got to stop feeling sorry for you. You can choose to feel sorry for yourself. You can make excuses your whole life. You can do that. That's an option. I'm recommending that you forgive them, that you do all the other things I just suggested, and learn from it, and then break the cycle. You could not... There's nothing, like I said, like I have a great relationship with my kids. I'm actively breaking the cycle. I just relish in my relationship with my kids. Anyone that knows me or is even affiliated with me on social media sees like so many experiences that I have with my children, and I just make it a point. Get out and have fun, and I love it. And we are all blessed. That is a direct result of my conscious decision to break the cycles and to not repeat what was done to me. And through this process that I'm telling you now. That's why I felt compelled to record this. Once you forgive your parents, once you understand the trauma you've been through, dig up into some resources, dig up some resources, whether you need to get a counselor, whether you need to read some books, get some materials, go to a seminar, whatever you got to do to come to terms. 12-step process is great. If you can find a fellowship that will help you understand and that you've been abused and get you through it, maybe there's a, gosh, I don't even know, Al-Anon may work. I mean, if your parents were addicts or alcoholics, that would certainly be an option for you. But find some professional resources or some proven methodologies or processes like a 12-step program to help you get through it, come to terms with it. Then you can actually use what you experienced as a tool to not only better your life and add these additional layers of just incredible just substance to your life. Like, I'm actually grateful for all the hardships I went through, because it sure does make the sweet parts of life that much sweeter, just knowing what the other side of it's like. So you get to do that, and not only that, now you can help other people. You can be a resource for others because you've been through it. You have this place of empathy that you can come from to help them. You know, if you're young, if you're still in high school or, you know, younger, I know it's overwhelming. I know it's hard, but you got to realize there is good stuff on the other side of this if you can just make enough good decisions to get you through this hard period. Don't destroy yourself. Don't implode into self-pity and feel like you're alone and no one will ever understand and you're the only one who's going. No, you're not. You're not alone. You're not terminally unique. Other people have been through hardships. Other people have had mom and dad leave them and, you know, been through difficult things. You know, it's not necessary that you implode and destroy yourself. So, anyway, that's my opinion on the matter. All right, thanks, bye.